Good afternoon. This is Brian Split with Allendale. Today is Friday, November 2nd, 2012, and I am here with your closing commentary for the week. Did have a lower trade across the board today. Lots of selling in commodities as a whole, and settlements for the grains are as follows. December corn down 11.5 at 739.5 last trade. Dece 13 down 3 at 636.5. The January soybeans down 33.25 cents at 15.26 3/4. November 13 down 12.75 cents at 13.36.5. Did have the December Chicago wheat down 4 at 8.64.5, while July 13 was down 2.25 at 8.75. Did have some private yield estimates come out this morning. 38.6 on soybeans, 122.4 on corn. The trade was looking for bigger numbers than that, but really the story of the day was risk off for commodities as a whole. A little bit of chatter about fund managers looking at this election next week and saying, well, do I really even want to have positions on? Should I lighten up? And that seems to be the case, what we saw today. For corn, continue to see poor export demand. Weekly numbers came out this morning within the expected range, but the expected range gets lower and lower every time we come out with numbers each week. So still a very sluggish pace there. And once again, poor exports demand has taken corn from the upper end of its recent range back down to the lower end of the range. We also have concerns about higher bean yields and higher bean production coming from the USDA next Friday on the WASDE report. And that also added to the pressure during today's commodity routing. As far as the wheat market is concerned, like we said, only down about 4 cents in the nearbys and only down 2 in the deferreds. And we are still seeing support under that market from a couple of different things. We've got still good global demand. Egypt bought wheat earlier in the week, although it was not U.S. wheat. They are still buying wheat as a whole. There are concerns about the conditions of the winter wheat going into dormancy, and probably had some spreading here where wheat was the strong leg of spreads. Wouldn't be surprised that maybe this market was selling beans and buying wheat today as a spread or unwinding of the spread. As far as meat trade, good recovery at the end of the session here for the meats. Dece hogs only down 2 at 77.85. We did have cash steady to lower for the week. Pork production will typically increase in the next 2 to 4 weeks. And just as an anecdotal note, generally for the week we have had early rallies in the session sold into and come off the highs late in the day. Technically we are still in an uptrend, but we haven't been able to take out resistance formed a couple weeks ago. So a move through roughly that 80 area in December needed to maintain this trend. On the cattle side, Dece also only down 2 at 125.30. Same thing, steadied a little bit lower cash here for the week. Wholesale beef is down. Market is still trying to assess what kind of demand destruction we've seen for beef because of Sandy, and it may take a little while for the trade to really figure that out. The supplies of market-ready cattle is dropping, and that should be keeping support under this market as well. As far as outside markets, really tells a story of what the general sentiment for the session was. Crude oil down $2.20 at about 84.90. Gold down $37 an ounce, 16.78. Silver was down $1.33 at about 30.91 an ounce. Dollar index up 52, 80.66 was last trade before I sat in this chair, and that is above the October high. So on a week on a monthly chart, the U.S. dollar has made a higher high above the October high. So something to keep an eye on there. If we do continue to see strength in the dollar, that will generally add pressure to commodities. As far as equity trade, Dow futures down about 130 points, right around 13.033, and S&P futures down about 12.75 at about 1410.5. So that's your rundown here for the day. If you do have any questions at all, please give us a call at 1-800-2MARKET. It's 1-800-262-7538. You can also reach us online at www.allendale-inc.com. Hope you had a good week trading, and good luck to you next week. Thank you.